Hey guys, Mike here with LensProToGo.com. Today I'm going to be talking about the new Nikon 105 f1.4. Now this is a brand new lens from Nikon. It's also a world first. It's the first and the longest telephoto f1.4 lens with autofocus, if you're into kind of keeping score. It's an incredible lens, and frankly, it's received a little bit of a tepid response. A lot of people are like, wow, that's cool. The price is really high. It's almost $700 more than the 85 1.4G, which is already an awesome lens. So a lot of people are saying like an extra 20 millimeters, does this really make sense? I think the first thing I can say about it is, after spending the last 6 weeks shooting with it, it's an incredible lens. And that's really kind of, I think you just have to get that out of the way to begin with. Unfortunately, we're all sitting here and we're a little bit spoiled in the sense that the 85G really is so fantastic. And really the only other sort of competition that you can put it against, certainly there are lesser lenses that you could say like, you know, at what point do diminishing returns kick in? But my big comparison was actually in its performance in comparison to the 200 f2. Now, if you haven't seen that lens before, it's a $6,000 behemoth, but it's basically like Photoshop in a lens. If you put a subject in front of it, you take a photo, it almost looks fake. Your subject will be incredibly sharp and the background just disappears because of the compression. So the 105 is really interesting, and I was kind of hoping to be able to channel a little bit of that lens, the 200 f2, with the 105 f1.4. So, you know, handling the two lenses side by side, the 105 is definitely a much larger lens than the 85 1.4G. So, brought it with me to a couple weddings, shot some portraits with them, also did some tests with Meg, and I can kind of show you some of the different images there. So, just looking at the wedding work, I mean, you can see if you're looking at this portrait here, it's, you know, it's a full length, but it's got beautiful depth of field. The background just completely blurs out. This one we were lighting, we had used an Elechrome strobe on this, just to kind of put everything together and kind of get the subject to pop off the background. It was great during the reception, got me plenty of separation, and you know, it was great being able to shoot in low light. The other thing that's great about this lens is at f1.4, it performs, it's great. The 85 can suffer from a little bit of softness in the corners. With this lens, it's not anywhere near as apparent. So if you're looking at some of the other samples that I've shot here, I mean, you know, some of the daytime work, chromatic aberration is extremely well controlled. I wasn't seeing a ton of that other than the extreme examples. I even shot some stuff here with the chandelier photos. If you look, if you zoom in, I mean, the ability to hold edge detail even in extreme contrast scenarios, it works extremely, extremely well. So, I mean, if there's any question about the optical performance of this lens, you can pretty much throw that out. You know, which leaves us really with just the practical aspects of shooting with this lens, cost considerations of it against an 85, and I'll sort of show you with some of these images that I shot back to back with the 200 f2, just what you can expect. So at $2,200, you could call the 105 f1.4 the poor man's version of the 200 f2. You do have to get a little closer to your subject, so you don't have that same working distance, but at f1.4, you're throwing the background out nearly the same amount. You can look at these two images here of Meg kind of side by side, and you can see the background, you know, has extremely pleasing bokeh in both images, and it looks really, really great. So testing the images and kind of looking at the way that it works, you know, it has a very smooth and subtle transition. It's something that you can actually dial back. If you look at this series just ranging from wide open to f5.6, you can see how the background is thrown in and out of focus. I mean, the focusing speed is really good. It's not quite as fast as the 200 f2, but frankly, that lens kind of focuses like a pump action shotgun. Literally things just, it snaps back and forth into focus. You don't have quite the performance on the 105 as that, but you're nowhere near the territory of something like a Canon 85 f1.2, you know, which is just a total pig for focusing. Using the lens in hand, it's really nice. The images are super sharp. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell that here in a video because you've only got, you know, the 1080p resolution. Trust me when I say it's amazing. So those are my thoughts on the Nikon 105 f1.4. Let us know what you're thinking in the comments below, and for additional coverage and more sample images, head on over to our blog via this link up here. That's all for now, and thanks so much for watching.